Hello friends, welcome back to my channel CA classes. So today's class is all about accounting standards. So what is accounting standard and why we want to learn about accounting standard? So accounting standard are very important for your group 1 examination, and even it's very important for you when you will be choosing a career as chartered accountant, because on the basis of these standards you will be going to prepare your financial statements. So accounting standard consists of 40 to 45 marks in your paper 1, and your first question will be compulsory question, which will be on accounting standard only. So these accounting standards you need to learn for your group 1. Okay, so in inter group 1 you will be having all these accounting standard, that is AS1 disclosure of accounting policy, AS2 valuation of inventories, AS3 cash flow statements, AS10 property plant and equipments, AS11 the effects of changes in foreign exchange rates, and AS12 accounting for government grants, AS13 accounting for investments, AS16 borrowing cost. So these standards you need to study for your group 1 and remaining will be for your group 2. Now let's understand what is accounting standard and what is the importance of accounting standard in our syllabus. So accounting standards are nothing but these are common set of principles, standards and procedures that define the basis of financial accounting policies and practices. So friends, accounting standards are very important, as you know, but why they are important? Because whenever you are going to complete any task, there will be some standards, right? You will be setting, even for small tasks you will be setting the standards. Then what about financial statements? So they are really very important, right? Because the user will be taking the decision by seeing the financial statements. So those financial statements should be prepared with the base of these accounting standards. Okay, so this now you have come to know the meaning of accounting standard. In this video I'll be covering your AS1, that is disclosure of accounting policy. This accounting standard is relatively it is very small, and it will be theoretical one. Okay, so let's begin what this standard wants to tell us. So AS1 disclosure of accounting policies. Disclosure means we need to write somewhere. We have to disclose what they are saying. Disclose the fact. Yes or no? What is disclose? Disclose means to say. Okay, so disclose what you should disclose. Accounting policies. Accounting policies means accounting policies refers to specific accounting principles and methods of applying those principles. So accounting policies are nothing but specific accounting principles plus methods of applying those principles. Okay, that is policy. So for example, you will be selecting one policy for your organization. So what you will do in that policy, what will be in that policy? It will be having some principles, right? Now you have one policy. Think the timing for your workforce will be from 9 to 4. So that is what? That is a policy. This is your policy, right? So what are the principles? Principles means you should come at this only. Like all those things are principles. So accounting policies are nothing but accounting policies refers to specific accounting principles and methods of applying those principles. Example, you have inventory valuation. Now you need to do accounting for inventory valuation. How you will do the accounting for inventory? So there are different methods available, right? There are many methods available for valuation of inventories. So you may use FIFO, some other may use LIFO, and some other may use average. So these are different methods, and these are policies. So for that purpose you need to disclose the policy. You need to disclose that what policy you have used. Okay, that is called disclosure of accounting policy. So this standard will mainly say you what things you need to disclose in your financial statement, and what things should form the part of your financial statement, and what need not to be formed. So you can see here inventory valuation. For depreciation you have different methods of valuation. For goodwill also you have different methods of valuation, and even for cash flow statement you have different. And for many accounting items you have a different methods. Okay, so next is why disclosure of accounting policy. This is the main question you need to ask while studying this standard. Why we want to disclose the accounting policies? So you need to disclose the accounting policies because there is not a specific accounting policy for all the firms. So only one policy will not applicable for all the firms. So you have alternative methods. So since you have alternative methods of accounting, you need to disclose what method you have adopted in preparation and presentation of your financial statements. For that purpose, this disclosure of accounting policy is required. For example, why it is? Because better understanding of financial statements. When we go through the financial statements of a company, we need not to have any doubts that how they have prepared this, that and everything. Because of that, to get clarified and to understand the financial statements in better manner, we need to disclose the policies what we have adopted in our organization. And to take the right decision, it is very important for the user, right? And inter-firm comparison. Think you need to compare the financial statements of a group, that is company A and company B, and company A is using SLM method for depreciation, company B is using WDV method for depreciation. Then what will you think? What you will think that which method they have used? You will think that you will find the difference in figures. So at that time you will go through these things, that yes, they have mentioned we have used this method of depreciation, we have used this method of depreciation, right? So it will be inter-firm comparison and to bring a uniformity. Okay, next is fundamental accounting assumptions. What are fundamental accounting assumptions? Fundamental accounting assumption means these things are already assumed. These fundamental accounting assumptions means these things are already assumed. Whoever prepares the financial statements, they must have they have already used these things. Means what these are fundamental accounting assumptions means will make assumption that yes, all the financial statements will have these properties, right? That is the three fundamental accounting assumptions. Mainly we have three fundamental accounting assumptions are going concern, consistency and accrual, right? Whenever user reads the financial statements, it will be assumed by him that yes, this company will be carrying out its business in a foreseeable future. And consistency means it will be using the same policy, and accrual means almost everyone knows that accounting will be done on accrual basis, not on cash basis. So these are three fundamental accounting assumptions. So these are fundamental accounting assumptions. We know, we will assume that these are followed. If these are not followed, what we should do? So for that, if we follow these assumptions, disclosure is not required. You need not to disclose that we have followed going concern concept, we have followed consistency concept. No, you need not to disclose that we have followed these things. But if you don't follow these assumptions, you need to disclose in your financial statement. That is, disclosure is required in the financial statements. Okay, so now let's understand the meaning one by one. First is going concern. What this assumption says? Going concern. The financial statements are normally prepared on the assumption that an enterprise will continue its operations in the foreseeable future, right? the financial statements, with what view these financial statements are prepared? These financial statements will be prepared with a view that the organization or the company will continue its business. So no one will assume, by seeing the financial statement, no one will assume that the company is going to close its business, right? So this is going concern. Then consistency means it refers to the practice of using same accounting policy for similar transactions in all accounting policies. So this consistency assumption says that the enterprise will practice the same accounting policy for similar transaction for a different period of accounting, right? For different accounting periods, you will be using the same accounting policies for the similar transactions. So this is called consistency. Okay, so consistency means using the same accounting policy for similar transactions in different periods. That is called consistency, right? Next is accrual. Under this assumption, transactions are recognized as soon as they occur, irrespective of cash or cash equivalent is actually received or paid. See, the transactions will be recorded. According to these assumptions, the transactions will be recorded as soon as they takes place, irrespective of cash has been received or it has been actually paid or not, or it is received or not. That will be the secondary matter. The primary is the transaction has been took place, then we need to record it. Okay, so it is mandatory for companies to maintain accounts on accrual basis only. This standard also says that it is mandatory for the companies to follow this assumption only. They have to prepare their accounting, they have to prepare their financial statements on accrual basis only. Okay, so these are the main fundamental accounting assumptions, that is going concern, consistency, and accrual. Okay, now let's proceed. Next is, when can accounting policy be changed? Now you are using one policy in your organization. For some reason you want to change your accounting policies, but they have said consistency. What consistency assumption says? You need to follow the same policy, right? But when can we change? We can change our accounting policy in some situations. When those situations when we can change it means it is only if it is by statute, that is if it is by law. Statute is nothing but if it is made by law, then you can use. I am so sorry. If it is by law, you can use it, or by an accounting standard, or for better presentation. So you can change your accounting policy. Yeah, if you ask, can we change our accounting policy because it is against our assumption, that is consistency? So can we change? If we want, we have adopted one policy and now we want to change our accounting policy. So yes, you can change, but there are some cases only there you can change. That is if it is made mandatory by the law, or if it is made by accounting standard itself, right? If the law is making, we have to do, and if accounting standard says you need to follow this, you have to do. And this for better presentation, you need to say that for better presentation of your financial statements, you have adopted the different policy. Okay, so these are the cases. Remember these three. The next, yes. So next is factors to be considered for selecting accounting policies. So the factors are prudence, materiality, substance over form. These three factors you need to consider, right? Because accounting policies, what happens, you need to select very carefully your accounting policies. So while selecting your accounting policies, you need to consider all these three factors. First is prudence. What is prudence? Prudence is nothing but this factor. What it says that accounting policies should be in such a way that by that policy we need to record the anticipated losses and liability, but anticipated profits and assets should not be recorded. So once we can read here, it means provision should be created for anticipated or known liabilities and losses, but anticipated profits and assets should not be recorded. So here profits are overstated, profits should not be overstated, and assets should also not be overstated, but losses are not understated and liabilities are not understated. Means losses and liabilities should not be understated, whereas profits and assets should not be overstated. It means this says that if you know in foreseeable future you are going to make this much of loss, you need to make provision for it, you need to provide provision for that losses. But if you know you will be going to gain this much in future, you are not supposed to record that gain. Okay, and the next is materiality. What this materiality says, it means all the material items, that is, what is material items means the items the knowledge of which might influence the decision of the user of financial statement. It is not always a matter of a relevant size. Means what they are saying, materiality means that accounting policy need to disclose all the material facts, right? It means what? Material item means the knowledge of which, if the user will know about that, then he may change his decision. So the knowledge of which items will influence the decision of the user of financial statement, that is called as materiality. It is always not about the matter of relevant size. Means it is not about that the item is of 300 rupees, it is of 30,000 rupees. No, but the item by which the decision of the user will change. Okay, next is substance over form. Substance over form means transactions and other events should be accounted for and presented in accordance with their substance and financial reality, and not merely by their legal form. No, what they are saying, the transactions and the events, they should be accounted and they should be presented in the financial statement on the basis of their financial reality and not merely on their legal form. Okay, these are the three factors. Next is manner of disclosure. You know you need to disclose the accounting policies, but what is the manner of disclosure, how you need to disclose them? So first is all significant accounting policies should be followed, it should be disclosed. So whatever accounting policies you will be using, you need to disclose them, you need to disclose those accounting policies, and next they should be disclosed at one place. So the accounting policy, you will disclose them and you have to disclose them at one place, and it should cover the opinion of the auditor. So disclosure of accounting policies, it should also cover the opinion of auditors. Okay, so 3 points you need to remember while coming to a manner of disclosure. That is, you need to disclose the significant accounting policies, then you should disclose all of them at one place, and the third is the opinion of the auditor should be the part of this disclosure. Next is a disclosure of change in accounting policy. This disclosure is for accounting policies what you are following in your enterprise. But if you change the accounting policies, how you need to disclose them? So when you change your accounting policies, there is a different method for disclosure, that is change in accounting policy. Think you have changed the accounting policy, and that accounting policy, if it has a material in current period, means if that accounting policy has a material effect in our current period, current period, then we should ascertain the amount, how much amount is affected from this change. So you need to ascertain the amount, and when you ascertain the amount, you should disclose the amount. But if you are not able to ascertain the amount, if the amount is not ascertained, yes, the change have been made and it has a material effect in the current period itself, but you are not able to ascertain the amount, then the fact to be disclosed. Okay, if the amount is ascertainable, you should disclose the amount, and if amount is not ascertainable, you should disclose the fact. Next is non-material in current period but ascertainable in later periods. See, this change may have two effects. Either it will be affected in the current period or it will have that to material effect. Okay, and another is if it has non-material, means it don't have any material effect in current period, but it will be ascertainable in the later periods. In that case, what you should do is fact of such change in later period to be disclosed in current period. So whatever the changes you get in later period, the fact of those changes must be disclosed in the current period itself. Okay, so this is how you need to disclose the change in accounting policies. Mainly you need to keep in mind that if it has material effect in the current period, what we need to, if it don't have material effect in current period but it will be ascertainable in the later periods, and if amount is ascertainable, amount should be disclosed. If not ascertainable, fact should be disclosed. And this is, however, you don't have in present, in future you can have. So for that purpose, the fact of such change should be disclosed in current period itself. And one more thing, how you should write answer for this for change is, if you are going to change an accounting policy, you should mention the old policy what you are following, and then next is the new policy which you have adopted, then reasons for the change, and the next is effects of changes. This effects of changes means it should be always in numerical form, but if the amount is ascertainable, then you can write in numerical form, and if the amount is not ascertainable, then you should disclose the fact. Okay, thank you guys, thank you for watching the video.